Hi, Bill Landing here again, and this is interesting individual. Well, sorry about that. Hey, don't say I look better with it on. But anyway, Bill Landing here, and it is the 2011 Halloween show for this year, and we're going to have some chills and thrills and some scary things for all of you to tune into, so stay ahead, but be warned. Continuing on with our 2011 Interesting Individuals Halloween program, I'm hooking up again with Amy Andersen with the Porter County Paranormal Group. And last year for our Halloween show, we visited Posey's Chapel in LaPorte County, and we were talking about maybe hooking up again for our show this year. And you were happy to stay in touch with me, and we have journeyed over to Crown Point, and we are at the Gypsy Cemetery. And we're going to find out about the background of it and the history of it. So, Amy, let's hear about it.
Okay, Gypsies is actually very interesting. About 200 years ago or so, a band of gypsies was coming through Crown Point. And the townspeople necessarily weren't too happy with them being in Crown Point. They were feeling like the gypsies were stealing their livestock, and they were just a burden on the community. And the people of Crown Point had kicked the gypsies out of town. The gypsies said that they could not leave, though, because some of their, some in their group were sick. But the townspeople didn't care too much for that. And so they actually ended up kicking them out of town anyway. And the gypsies had buried their, the people who had passed away, they buried them here, right back here is where they're supposed to be said to be buried. And actually before they left, the gypsies put a curse on the city of Crown Point. And so, I mean, that's just a brief history of what had happened here, before. So it's there's a lot of, sickness and, it's a lot of unaccepting, that's what had happened here. And so you kind of feel that when you walk into the cemetery.
Is there anything, any type of history like at the Crown Point Library or Historical Society on this situation?
We've looked, and it's hard to come across these kinds of claims because they're so controversial. A lot of times they didn't even put these in history books. We've done plenty of research online, and this seems to be the thing that we can come up with. This is the story of why it's called Gypsy's Graveyard, of why the story is the way it is. I mean, that seems to be the the general
gist of the story.
Of the story, yeah. And so, but no, there are a lot of people come out here to check out the gypsies and whatnot. So
now, have you been out here? I know you've been out here. Have you done the trying to find orbs and like we did last year?
Oh, yeah, of course. We always do that. We've come out here. We've taken pictures. We've seen orbs. We've tried to do EVPs out here. One of the claims is that if you go to the back, you'll walk out and, your pants will just be full of blood, and that's supposed to be the blood of the gypsies. And so we always do that when we come out here. We always do base readings of everything, and so we can kind of, get an idea of what's going on.
And you said that there's not been much going on then here that you've...
We've never really, we've gotten a couple EVPs, nothing, nothing substantial. We have a couple orb pictures. Again, it's like some people say that orb pictures aren't actual evidence, and others say that they are. So it just depends on what side of the fence you're on.
And refresh us again on what EBTs are.
Oh, EVP? EVP. I'm like, EBT, I think that's government assistance. EVP is electronic voice phenomena. It's a way that the spirits can communicate through electronic field. You would put like a voice recorder somewhere, and you would ask questions, and it's a wave that they can use to communicate back to you. So if you play it back, you'll actually sometimes hear responses, and it's kind of creepy.
We will, of course, do a little bit more touring of here and get a little bit more background. I do notice there does not appear to be that many graves here. I know it is a country type cemetery, and it's not going to be like one in the city, but all the same, I don't see a whole lot of headstones.
No, it's definitely not. And from what I understand, there's a lot of there's been a lot of vandalism to this cemetery, and so a lot of the actual headstones had to actually be taken out because of vandalism. That's another reason too, is a lot of them did have to be removed because they had just been so broken down, and so that they at this point they were a hazard more than anything.
All right. Amy, step this way next to me, and we will see the headless angel. Tell me a little bit about that. That is a sort of an eerie sight.
This angel has always kind of been the face of Gypsy's graveyard. If you do any kind of search on any website, this is, like I said, this is just the face of Gypsy's graveyard. It's like the centerpiece of the whole graveyard. And from what I understand, one of the claims is if you touch the angel, or if you do the angel any harm, it's more along the lines of the Gypsy's curse. It'll be bad luck for all of eternity or whatnot.
I see an arm broken off too. Yeah. I'm gonna just step on camera a little bit, and right here it appears, an arm.
Yeah, this is this is the work of vandals. We came here probably 2 or 3 years ago, and the angel was complete. I mean, had a head, had arms, had the whole 9 yards, and it through the years, people come out to cemeteries for the wrong reasons, and they do things like this. And actually, it's been said too that the angel moves. Like if you come into the cemetery, she'll be in one location. If you leave, she's in another. We've never had that happen, but it's one of the things that draws people out here.
The myths.
They want to see. They want to see it. They want to see it happen.
Is this more of a attraction spot in Halloween, around the Halloween time?
Yes, like a lot of cemeteries are. People get into the hype of Halloween, and they want to see ghosts, and they want to feel, they want to see something. And so usually around Halloween, this becomes a pretty crazy area. We made the mistake of one year coming out here around Halloween, and there was 20 people here. So
was it in the evening or afternoon?
It was definitely in the evening. People come out here between 11 and 1 a.m. because they want to see spirits. They want to encounter something.
All right. Okay. Well, we will be back to do a little bit more touring here of the Gypsy Cemetery. We are now more towards the back of the Gypsy Cemetery, and go ahead, Amy, and tell me what's going on here.
Well, this is definitely probably the more creepy area of the cemetery, just because, there's no light back here, so you always want to bring your flashlights. But as you can see behind us, there's a fence. I mean, maybe you can see it, but this is supposedly where the Gypsies are actually buried. Like I said, the Gypsies had to bury their deceased before they left town, and this is apparently where they buried them. And generally at night, you can hear, spooky noises, and, hear animals back here, and it's generally more creepy back here, because it's dark.
It's just as dark.
Very dark back here.
Is there an approximate number of how many of the Gypsy people were buried back here when they all got ill, sick and died?
Yeah, and actually, we have not been able to find an exact number. We have, in the springtime, before everything gets overgrown, we have gone down into the ravine back there to look and to see if we could find any kind of grave markings or any indications of any kind of graves. And we have yet to find them, but we'll find them.
Alrighty then. All right, we have moved way now to the absolutely back of the cemetery, and as Amy had mentioned earlier, there is the bent down fence, and here is where, again, there are some other myths and so forth about the Gypsy Cemetery.
Yeah, actually, from what one of the claims is if you go back here and, if you look for the Gypsies, you will come back and you will have blood on your pant legs from, like, from the gypsies. It was apparently part of the curse. And also another claim that we've come across is if you are pregnant, you will miscarry your child if you come back in this part of the cemetery.
Oh boy, that is not a comforting thing to hear. Well, all the same, maybe people better heed that warning. Do you know many people that have had that happen, the pant leg situation?
I had one of our team members did have a little bit of red stuff on his pants after we left the cemetery, the bottom of his pants, and so we couldn't exactly figure out if it was blood or if he just stepped on some berries, or you never know. But this is where a lot of the action happens, is supposedly back here. This is where, they are said to be laid to rest, and this is, a pretty big area. So definitely come here during the afternoon. Don't attempt to make this at night, because there's too much overgrowth and giant sticks, and people will just get hurt if they come here at night. Make sure to try to do it during the day.
Not to mention a few gypsies may hop out. We are completing our tour of the Gypsy Cemetery. Amy and her group, again, it was nice to hook up with you and come out here and see this and hear about the history of it. It's hidden way over here in the Crown Point area. If anybody wants to come and take a look, I don't know if you can maybe roughly give us some directions.
Of course. You're going to take US 65 towards Crown Point. You're going to get off on the 231 exit at the light. You're going to take a right. You're going to continue down that road until there's a flashing light. That's called Iowa Street. You are going to take another right, and you're going to continue on that road for about 3 miles. When you reach a stop sign, now there's like a three-road intersection. You're going to take the straightest road you can. It's called South Grove, and you're going to be on South Grove for about 1 mile, and is on your left-hand side.
All right, then, and just briefly tell us what you and the group have as we're leading up to the Halloween season.
Oh, it's probably going to be a busy one this year. We have multiple house investigations, and we always like to, in our free time, just hit up cemeteries, and we like to hit up the Valparaiso, the old jail is always nice, and so there's going to be lots of things going on if anybody wants to join us.
All right, and one last thing, give us the email address of how we can reach your group, or people can reach your group.
Of course. Our email address is pcp_team. Wait, I'm sorry. It's pcpteam_1@yahoo.com. And you can also find us on Facebook. If you just search Porter County Paranormal, PCP, we come up.
All right, Amy Andersen, thank you so much again.
No problem. Thank you.
Happy Halloween, my darlings. I am Vivian, the most exquisite vampire. I am waiting for Mr. Landing. We have a score to settle. Come, and you will see.
Vivian, you've returned.
Indeed. You have no devices in which to destroy me. Mr. Landing, therefore you are mine. You belong to me, and will serve me for all eternity.
I'm afraid not.